guys, Miss Scrappy here. I promised somebody, Marilyn, that I would post pictures of how I store my dies, but I didn't know if I could do it with pictures, and so I decided I would go ahead and make a video as much as I dislike them. I don't have a lot of nesting dies. What I have I use a lot. I have some of the Bigs dies and stuff like that, and some of the little bitties, and I store those differently, but I store the bigger ones hanging on a pegboard in their original packaging with all the flaps cut off. Makes it easier to get them in and out, and I don't get pinched or scratched as much with that hard plastic packaging. And then the little ones I just store in a little basket. But my nesting dies I store like this. I save the inside packaging when I buy them. And you'll notice that some of them are cut off. Well, I've had them in smaller boxes. I've had them in different systems. I've had them in a notebook, and they were way too heavy for the notebook, and they kept tearing the page protectors and kept falling out of the notebook, and it just didn't work for me. Although I loved the idea, it just didn't work for me. So I finally hit on this. I saved the inner piece, and I use manila file folders, much to my husband's chagrin, and I cut two pieces, and I store them every other die for two reasons. A, I really don't like my dies touching each other because I'm afraid they'll get bent. And B, I make a lot of layered cards like this here and this one, and I know that if I use all the dies on this sheet on one color and all the dies on the other sheet in another color, that I have perfectly matted every other color die cuts. So it's multi-purposeful for me. Then I take the folder and I cut a circle with my circle cutter and put what's on it. And I always put how many dies are in the package in a circle, because like this one's A2, but it has 8 dies. And I want to know how many dies are in each package in case one should go missing. And I store them in alphabetical order in this box, just like this. You can see, like, anemone flower topper didn't have but 4 dies, and it fit on one piece with just a strip of magnetic tape, and they don't touch. I'm trying to think. I have one back here, miscellaneous small dies, and these are just singular dies that I bought one at a time. And I store them like this, and I put on the oval what's in it, like the little hearts, the little ovals, the doxy, the tulips, which I use a lot. And I just got these two last week, the hearts and the nativity. And I store them like that, and it's just miscellaneous small dies, and I know what's there. Some of them don't have the folder that comes with it, and so I just go ahead and use the front piece, like this Quick Cuts. And then I use the 2 pieces of cardstock or manila folder once again, and strips of magnetic, and do them like that. Like Spiral Blossom is just 1 die. Spiral Blossom number 3 is just 1 die, and it just goes on one piece and sits in the folder. And then behind those, I also have my embossing folders and my mats for embossing, and I keep those like this, so that I have all of this right next to my desk. This is one of the boxes that Michael's had on sale, 10 for $6, or I think it was 6 for $10 actually. And they just fit perfectly until I outgrow it, and you know, then I'll do something else. But anyway, like I say, this works for me. It keeps it handy. It keeps it organized. I don't have to hunt for anything because they're in alphabetical order. And I like that. This one, you know, they're not nesting, but they're still the thinlets or thin dies. Spellbinders. It took me a minute. I haven't had but 1 sip of coffee so far today. And so I just cut my magnets to fit what pieces I had and adhered them to my cardstock. You can get magnets in sheets at Walmart, and you can get it in like 10-foot rolls for $4, which is not a bad price. And like I say, keeping them like that enables me to do this just lickety-split, because I don't have to think, okay, which die did I use last? I've got them all right there, and I know which, you know, to do all pink in one color, all white in the other, in, you know, whatever I'm trying to say. Anyway, Marilyn, that's how I store them. It works for me. And like this one I bought the other day is both the dies and the embossing folders. It's a Tim Holtz and Sizzix, and it came in this little envelope, so I just left them in the little envelope. I just make sure my 2 dies aren't touching when I put them up. And that's how I do that. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope it helps. Hope it gives you at least some idea. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.